Hello everyone, welcome to this new series. The topic this time is Linux Kernel Exploitation. We will dive about return to userland attack. We will build step by step from setting up our testing environment until we develop a complete working exploit that allows us to escalate our privilege from standard user to a root. To demonstrate this attack, I'm going to use a material from Challenge XP CTF Challenge 2020. This challenge contains a vulnerable kernel model that we will analyze and exploit. Actually, we will use it as the foundation for our explanation about kernel exploitation. So in this video, we will only set up our environment according to this challenge. So first thing, we need to get the material. So let's go to the challenge webpage, as you can see here. When we scroll down under download here, I have the materials. I just copy the link, then I go back to the terminal, wget, and here we get it. We need to untar it, so tar-xf and the kernel. That's give us a directly cd kernel rob. Once we are inside, we see that there are several files. Currently, what is important for us, the three files actually, the VM Linux, init file system, and the run sh. First, let's talk about VM Linux and init RAM file system, because both of them are needed to boot the Linux. So VM Linux is actually a kernel image. And kernel images are unique files because they boot the user space. There are two types, either uncompressed version, which is called VM Linux here. And this is recognized usually by most of the debugger. And then we have the compressed one, which is the BZ image, Z image, and VM Linux. The VM Linux, the BZ image, actually it's compressed using the bzip2, while the Z image and VM Linux it's compressed using the gunzip. Usually compression speed up the boot because it is faster to decompress in RAM instead of reading a large uncompressed file from the disk. So that was one of the reasons for this compression. The second component which is necessary to boot the system is the initial file system. Historically, it's known as initrd, and nowadays it's init RAM file system. Both of them are in RAM file system, mountable file system. It contains all the necessary binaries that is needed to set up the user space, such as the binsh or bin bash there. This third file is the run sh. The run sh is just a script which set up a QEMU emulator with 64 architecture from x86. We can see here they're using the kernel, the VM Linux, the init RAM file system, and some other information for starting this challenge. So in order to run it, we need to either you can create this file, or you can remove completely this hard disk B is not needed. So let's do that. I go back here, touch flag.txt. Now we have it. So let's start run sh. It takes a few seconds, but then we will see that we are inside a QEMU emulator for x86, as I mentioned. ID tells us that we are not the root user, we are standard user. And when we list the content here, you can see now, I need it maybe, you can see now we have the kernel module named hackme.ko. This is the file which we will analyze later. Okay, let's go back to our presentation. We saw that here. The third, what we usually need to do in order to set up our testing environment. first we need to decompress the file system. The reason for that, now we know that the HackMe kernel model is inside the file system, so we need to extract it from there, and we can do that using the gunzip or this command here. Additionally, sometimes we will see that also in the upcoming videos that we need to modify something in the file system, or we need to add our exploit to the file system. Here we don't have SSH. So we add then our exploit here, and we need to recompress the file system to use it again. And this is the command to compress the file system. It just takes all the files in the same directory and use the CPIO with the format newc in order to compress. And the compression is at level 9, so that means it's the highest compression level. So that's what we will do as well. Let's go back to the terminal. What I will do actually, just for organization, I will create let's say directly the first one. I will call it like return to userland, and then inside it we have initram file system, and then I will copy the initram file system from here to the return and initram. Then let's go to there. So now we are inside the command to unzip. We are using a gunzip command. So this is the command. Once I hit enter, it tells me everything is ready, and you can see now here we have our kernel model HackMe ready for analysis. That's one thing we need to do. Now the third component actually is the VM Linux. We need to extract VM Linux from VM Linux. The reason for that, because as I said, for debugging, we need to use VM Linux. And to do that, it's easy. There is a script called extract VM Linux, which is, you find it on the main repository you see it here. For Linux, it's here. So all you need to do is you just, let's go back to the terminal. We need to, maybe first let's create also as we did before. So let's create another directly for the kernel. We called the kernel there. Then again, we copy the VM Linux. We have it here to the return kernel. And then let's jump there to the kernel. Now we have it. This is the command in order to, let's get it first, the script wget, and that will give us, maybe I should make this is bigger here. Once we get it, and then what we need to make it executable. And then at the end, we run extract and VM Linux. Then we need to call it VM Linux. So if I list, now you see I have the both files. Okay, so let's get back to the presentation. We did this and we have both file now. The third step is we need to configure the emulator. What I mean by that is I will do two things. First, I will disable all the kernel protection, the one you see here. And also I will add debug capability by introducing the GDB listening on random board. Here I chose the 7777. So let's do that. I go back to the terminal. Now I have a split terminal. In the first one, I will create nano run sh, and then here the modified command. I just specified where now the kernel image and where the initram file system, and here I added no for all the protection, again adding the GDB. So let's save it and change mode to executable, or to run executable, and when we run it, it takes again a few seconds and it should take us to the emulator. Okay, now we are inside the emulator. Again, we are still a standard user. The difference now is, as I said, GDB is listening on 777. So Now let's connect to the GDB. Now I am in the second terminal. Again, I am in the directory where I have VM Linux now. So that's what I will use, not VM Linux. VM Linux I will use. The command is simple. ITIL GDB that to use VM Linux. I'm adding here --nx because usually I have plugged in for GDB, the bound DBG, but usually this will cause some issue sometimes when you debug remotely. So I'm telling GDB don't use any one of these. And when I run it, it's ready here. So now we need to connect to our target, and the command target remote on the local host, and then I provide the port. Once I hit enter, and we are inside the GDB. So what that's mean now, our environment is up and ready for debugging. That's what we did here. So this is now for this video. Our environment set up and ready. The next video, we will start by reverse engineering the HackMe kernel model and see what vulnerability there. So see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.